Welcome to Through the Mirror. My name is Tracy Wallach, and I am your host. Happy holidays to everybody. I hope you're having a great time, and I hope you're getting some much-needed time off. I have the pleasure of being here on my day off with my lovely daughter, Kayla. Welcome, Kayla.
Hi, everyone.
This is Kayla's very first time on a podcast, and Kayla, in order to settle you in a little bit, I thought we'd start with a little bit of a rapid fire. And this is going to be just quickly 25 questions, and you just have a quick second to answer each. Okay?
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Positive.
Positive.
Okay. Favorite social media platform?
TikTok.
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Oh my God, yeah. You're far from a morning person. Last song you listened to?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, nothing on the ride here. Anything this morning? Or you don't remember? Was it Spanish? Was it hip hop, R&B?
I listened to That's So True by Gracie Abrams.
I've never heard of that. Is
It's
it good?
this new artist. She's really good.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
kind of music? Like R&B or?
No, I'd say more like heartbreak music.
Oh,
Not that I'm
no.
heartbroken, but
Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. What's your favorite go-to snack?
That's a hard one. Probably Reese's. Chocolate.
Peanut butter. Okay. Favorite TV show to binge watch?
Grey's Anatomy, for sure.
McSteamy or McDreamy?
That's a hard one. They're both kind of steamy and dreamy.
Oh my God, child. Okay. Favorite app on your phone?
TikTok.
Okay. Who's your celebrity crush? Dude.
Patrick Dempsey.
I can't, Kayla. He's like older than dirt for you. He's like a dinosaur.
He's so hot though.
He could be hot, but he's old hot. What about one
Okay,
around your era, your age?
Mark Gee.
Who?
Mark Gee. He's a soccer player.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you guys are going to hear a lot about soccer, and we'll start with that. Kayla is an avid soccer player, and we're going to start with age 3, but I'm going to finish rapid fire first. All right. If you could travel anywhere right now, where would you go?
I'd say I'd probably go to Greece.
Greece. Why, Kay?
I don't know. I've just never been there before. Kind of always been somewhere I've wanted to go. So
Okay. Coffee or tea?
coffee.
What's your dream job?
My dream job is to be a teen therapist.
A teen therapist. And are you okay if we get a little into that later?
Yeah.
That's all. Okay. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Probably the best piece of advice I've ever received is take every day, like take time, relax, focus on yourself, make sure you're okay, and then move on.
Where did that come from?
You.
Oh. I'm like, I don't know if that sounded like me, but okay. Well, this is
worded a little differently,
yeah,
but
just a little bit. Oh God, what's your favorite outfit to wear?
that could vary.
Uh-huh.
Probably sweatshirts and shorts,
Okay.
but it could literally go from sweatpants and crop tops to sweatpants and hoodies.
So ideally, sweatpants, hoodies, crop tops,
Yeah.
short shorts, anything that you're going out and that I say, oh my God, to.
Yep, basically.
Okay. What's your favorite book or movie?
I think my favorite book would have to be It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. And she recently came out with a movie, and it was really good.
What's that about?
It's about this girl who goes through an abusive relationship, and she ends up leaving the relationship because they had a child together, and she did it for her child.
Aww.
And it was a very touching story, and it was just about her life and how she met the guy and her dad dying and everything like that. It was just a very powerful story to me, so I really enjoyed it.
Wow. Yeah, and that's what's so beautiful about you. You are very empathetic, and I love that you can find something like that at your age, especially at 17, to find something so impactful. Hopefully you don't have to experience that in life.
Yeah,
Hopefully I've taught you well enough. What's one thing you can't live without? You could say, because it's not surrounding you right now, shockingly enough.
No, it is. It's on my lap.
Is it really? Oh my God.
I'd have to say my phone.
All right, so I'm going to get Ben involved here. Ben, before we even came in today, I said to Kayla, you cannot have your phone with you. You have to put your phone on the couch. And she goes, Mama, I'm not going to put it on the couch. I said, fine, put it in my purse. So her favorite thing is sitting in her lap. She had to hide it from me.
Wow, that's great.
I tucked it under my shirt.
She tucked it under her shirt. Like, I'm not going to see that or something. Were you like that? Well, you're not 17, but.
No, I will say, like, I think I was a little present on my phone. There was more, I would say that my parents would be like, oh, you're on your phone. But I would take so many pictures or Snapchats. I love to, like, document things for memories.
Exactly.
So that's what I did. And so, but there were times where I felt like, okay, I got to kind of separate from this. For sure.
Okay. And there's the age right there, because can you separate, Kayla? 'Cause I don't ever remember you separating from a phone.
Depends.
Yeah. Okay. Biggest pet peeve?
Ooh, people who are hypocritical.
Oh.
I hate hypocrites.
Oh.
I hate when someone will tell you something that they don't like about you, but then go and do the same thing, or tell you something that bothers them, but then proceeds to do the exact thing.
You've experienced that a lot then, it sounds like.
Yes, unfortunately. I'm in high school, so there are a lot of hypocrites.
Yeah, hypocrites, drama queens, kings,
Liars, everything like
whatever.
that.
It's tough being in high school, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. We're going to go over that too. I'm almost done, I promise.
You're fine.
If you could switch lives with anyone for a day, who would it be?
I think, honestly, I'd switch lives with, like, a famous person, because I feel like I'd want to, like, experience it once, but I don't think I would ever personally want to be famous. I just want to experience how they, like, live their lives once, like an influencer on TikTok, or maybe a famous soccer player, or like a movie star, singer. Just experience it once.
Yeah, well, you do know every single one of those people you talked about, they are in front of a camera 24/7 smiling. They have to put on a face that,
Yep.
yeah, and especially with you, because you get to a point where, what is it? Your clock runs down, or your social battery.
Social battery runs out, yeah.
Yeah, I think with you especially, I don't think you would be able to last the whole day.
I think I just want to use the money to go shopping, to be honest with everyone.
I love it. Honesty is the best policy, Kayla. And we know this. Do you prefer cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Dogs. What's your guilty pleasure? Better be something G-rated. Well, it would be.
Probably shopping.
Shopping, of course. What's your current obsession?
My current obsession. Probably. That's a good question. I actually don't really know.
Okay.
I don't really think I have a current obsession. I think I've had obsessions in the past, but I think right now I'm a little too focused on other things to really have an obsession.
But shopping's an obsession.
Oh,
of
shopping
yours?
is okay. Then shopping is my current obsession every day of the year.
Yes, of course. And then I'll leave you with the last one. What's your, two more. Best vacation you've ever been on? And you've been through a lot with us. You've traveled a lot.
Wow. Yeah. I think personally a vacation that I'm never going to forget is when I was younger and we went on that European cruise and we met that little boy.
Yeah.
He was so cute, and we got to go to places like Italy, Paris, London. I think that was honestly a really good experience, along with probably our vacation to Singapore and Bali.
Yeah.
I think that was an amazing experience, and to just see like how other people live internationally and see how it is around the world versus in America. So I think those would probably be my top experiences.
I remember, that little boy you're talking about, he was from Italy. And I remember that was the first time we did MSC ship, and we decided to do similar to what we're going to do for spring break for you. It's like a haven suite almost.
Yep.
And we had our own
I
butler.
felt like I was on the Titanic, like the rich people on the Titanic, without the sinking, of course, but
Thank God.
thank God no sinking, but
Yeah, and all I remember is when we came in there to sign up, that little boy sat right beside you, and it was love at first sight for him.
yeah, attached to my hip for the rest of the cruise.
Oh my God, yeah. And I still have him on the old Facebook. I wish, okay, if there is any people out there in Facebook land, if you work for Facebook, please, I just want my Facebook account back. Nobody hacked into it and they won't allow me to get lost password. I don't understand social media. It drives
I'll
me
check
nuts.
it when we leave.
Can you please,
Yes.
Kayla? Oh my God, that would be amazing. Okay. And then what's your favorite holiday?
Oh, my birthday.
Of course. Every day your birthday.
Not to be self-conceited. No, I'm just kidding. I think my favorite holiday would probably be Christmas.
Okay.
I love not about the presents, but I think I love more like the feeling, the lights, like just
Yeah.
like the feeling of Christmas is like my favorite time.
Yeah, it is beautiful with the lights, and it's almost dull. Life is dull before the
Yeah.
lights, and then all of a sudden you have the lights for the full.
You get this like cheery feeling, and you're like, I just love being alive.
Yes, and then all of a sudden the lights go out, and at the end of January 1st, almost
Yeah,
like at the
it's
end of
so
New Year's
sad.
Eve. It is. It's depressing.
Yeah, it's depressing.
There we go. Okay, so I want to flip into my favorite memory of you because this is one I know. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, so you were 3 years old, and
I know where this is going.
Daddy and I at the time have decided that you chose soccer. You wanted to play soccer as one of your favorite
Yes.
sports. And I'll never forget, we brought you to the Pee Wee.
Mm-hmm.
It was in Royal Palm Beach, and we brought you to the soccer field. And the coach was like, okay, get the kids familiar, just kick around the soccer ball, just have a good time. And so you're kicking the soccer ball, and so is all the other kids, but you found your own soccer ball, and you were just having a good time. And I noticed I don't believe you were kicking with any other kid. I think you were just owning your own, owning your own moment in time with the soccer ball.
Yep.
And then it came time for the coach to say, okay, kids, everybody kick your soccer ball to the side and we're going to start. And I'm going to teach you soccer or something. And you completely ignored the coach. It was almost like the coach didn't exist. You're in your lovely world of kicking a soccer ball, right?
Rainbows, unicorns, soccer balls.
There you go, rainbows, unicorn soccer balls. And then the coach said it again, and again you were ignoring. And then I think it was either me or Daddy, probably me. I said, Kayla, the coach wants you to, I know how to kick a soccer ball. I don't need to have a coach tell me. And we're like,
Sounds about right.
yeah, and we're like, Kayla, you have to learn the right way of doing things. I don't want to do it. And
Perfect impression of me. Thank
it
you so
is.
much.
And imagine this big, this brown hair, came up cropped to your chin, and it was all so curly. It was like anybody that's from the era of Shirley Temple, she had blonde curls. You had tight brown curls, and
Yeah.
oh my God, you were so cute.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you had chubby cheeks, and I just pinched it all the time. And oh my God. Okay. Anyway, you hated it. And fortunately, we just brought you in there, and we didn't sign you up. It was just something we brought you into. And we decided at that moment, nope, it's not for you. we realized it was not going to work well. You were you were beaten to your own soccer drum at that time. And do you remember the life lesson we taught you after that? We did eventually sign you up for soccer. I think you were probably more like 10 at that time when we first signed you up. Mm-hmm. And do you remember the lesson that we told you once we signed you up for soccer, whether you liked it or not, what did you have to do?
Just try new things, try it out.
Right. But if you were already doing it and you didn't like it, what did you have to do?
Communicate.
No. Well, that's a given, but you had to finish, whether you liked it or not.
Start to finish.
Yeah. And so I think that's when you started to love soccer. If you can think back now, what was your favorite thing about being on a co-ed team?
I think honestly my favorite part was the challenges, because I know people tend to say oh, boys are more aggressive than girls. Oh, girls aren't meant to play sports. But I think that honestly being on a co-ed team not only showed me that girls are 10 times more aggressive than boys, but it gave me a lot of challenges facing people with different heights, people with different aggressions. And I also got to actually have my dad coach me one season, which was terrible.
Oh my God, yeah.
As much as I love him, when he's mad at me, the practices weren't the most fun. But I think it just helped me to really gain confidence in my sport. And so, yeah.
I think it helped you to take direction well. I think it helped you. Okay, one of my favorite things about you, and I watch you now, and especially on senior night, I took notice to this. What I love about you is whether you are on the field or you're off the field and sitting on the bench, you're always thanking or you're always congratulating everybody, like, hey, great job, great goal. And, oh, sorry, you'll get it next time. Or you're just very encouraging. And I think that started when you were really young with this sport. Because you literally played from 10 straight on up. You played not so well in middle school.
No, I think I started when I was younger.
Okay.
Yeah.
This goes to show my short-term memory. But I'd say straight through, and that's something you learned, is how to be a team player. I do remember the fun you used to have where your coaches taught you differently. Each coach taught different.
Yeah.
This coach is a lot different, I'd say, from all your coaches in the past with teaching you, where he teaches you to just constantly pass upward, not side by side. But I'll never forget the one coach that taught you how to slide tackle.
Oh.
Do you remember that?
Yes, that season was a season of red cards for Kayla.
Yes.
Because I think when he taught me to slide tackle, he forgot to imply that you're slide tackling the ball and
Right.
not the person.
Yes.
So in my head, it's take your aggression out on the slide tackle, but I would always slide tackle the person. And so, again, like I said, season for red cards for Kayla.
Yeah, I think you got yellow cards. Did you ever get a red? I don't think you got a red.
Honestly, no. I think probably just yellows, to be honest. I think
Yeah.
I've only gotten a red card maybe twice because they gave me a yellow and I did it again.
Oh, okay. That's great.
It was just my
listening
thing.
skills
It was just
there.
my thing, doing some slide tackles here and there.
Yeah. Well, and there were some good, cool points when you would literally slide, kick the soccer ball, and get right back up again, which I thought was extremely interesting and only a Kayla move.
Only a Kayla move.
Yeah. Let's go into, I'd like to ask you a little bit about your life and interests. Obviously, soccer is a big interest of yours. Playing this year, taking the field, what do you think it's going to, well, let's back up. So high school, you went to,
school.
yeah, Dad and I separated, brought you over to Coral Springs. You went to Marjorie Stoneman Douglas.
Yeah.
Douglas had a very aggressive soccer team.
Very aggressive.
Yeah. And so you didn't play your first year. I think your first year you kind of just were trying to figure out life and figure out your new life, so to speak. Second year you joined the soccer team. Or second year you tried out for the soccer team. You tried out the first year, I believe.
I tried out the first year, but I think that I was too focused on other things to really focus.
Yeah. And you got injured though, Kayla. I
did.
remember that.
Yes, I did get injured.
Yeah, when you were doing the tryouts. And I
Yeah.
think that kind of took you out of the game a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, but then you spoke to the coach and you said to the coach you would work with the coach anything she wanted or needed you to do.
Yep.
You'd like to be present. And even that summer, you joined her team, the soccer team, to be able to practice with them. And she saw in you what we've always seen in you, and that's the confidence and the team player mentality. So fast forward, you're yawning. Am I that boring?
No, sorry, just
my
long
God.
day.
Okay.
Midterms.
Midterms, that's true. So I'll make it quick. How many soccer players did you do tryouts with, would you say?
I'd say probably around like 130 people.
Okay. And how many made the team? Do you remember for JV University?
Probably 30 people.
Was it only that? Okay, so you beat
Yeah.
out, I'd say close to 100. So we'll just give or take a few.
Give or take a few.
Yeah. And to this day, do you even think about that to this day? What it took for you, your perseverance to be able to do that?
Honestly, thinking about it, it boosts my confidence to think about it, and it really honestly helped me to know that I'm a good player and to keep that in mind. I think that it honestly, yeah, I'd say that I keep that in mind a lot. I tend to, especially like past couple of seasons, I tend to keep in mind like you're a good player, you beat out a lot of people, you deserve to be a soccer player, you deserve to be on the field. So I think doing that, it might not be a big thing to everyone, but to me, I'd say it was a pretty big deal.
It was a big deal because not only during the weekdays did you practice with the team, and in the summer you practiced with the team. You actually spent a lot of time after school when you didn't have soccer practicing with your friends. You spent your weekends practicing, and still to this day you do that.
Hmm.
So, what's some advice you can give a high schooler coming in, first time soccer player? What's some advice you can give them on number one for tryouts, number two, if they don't make the team, or even if they do, how can they get better?
Um, Honestly, I'd say that don't give up. It At first, it's very scary. I know coming in, even my sophomore year, junior year, senior year, it's very nerve-wracking. You think that you just constantly compare yourself to everyone that's trying out. You think I could be better than her, but I'm not as good as her, so I know she's going to definitely have a spot over me. And I think you're your biggest critic. So I think honestly, just getting in your practice, going to the fields in your open time for any sport, really. Just going, practicing, sticking to it. And the biggest thing is do not compare yourself to other people because that is where you are going to really mess yourself up. And that's not just in sports, that's in anything. I'd say don't compare yourself to other people because I know that that's probably another reason freshman year because I came in, I was like, I'm bottom of the food chain. I'm a freshman. This girl's better than me. This girl's better than me. This girl might not be better than me, but I'm still gonna. I just think, honestly, stick to your stuff, do what you know, be your own person, and that'll shine through the most to coaches.
I love it. I love it. And I love it because that is what you practice every day, even to your point, even when you're not out on the field. I think that is something every young girl can work on.
Yeah.
And it's something that I watch you do great with it on some days and struggle on others. And you know what? It's not just the advice you're giving to younger kids or even high schoolers. It's advice you're giving to college students and even women my age.
Yeah.
And men too, they go through the same thing and the same struggles where we are so focused on what other people are doing around us that we don't focus on what great qualities we have and what we can contribute. And I think that's something that is very important to focus on. It's not what others do, it's what you do and how you can do better and how you could show up more for yourself. So,
Mm-hmm.
what's one thing people often misunderstand about you?
I think I've heard this a lot from my friends, but they tend to think right off the bat, like, just because of my face, sometimes when I'm just staring into blank space, I may look mean.
Oh,
And I tend to hear it from a lot of my friends that they originally thought that I was going to be a very nonchalant, is a good word to put it, nonchalant, rude person. But once they got to know me, I'm 100% not that.
yeah.
I tend to care about people. Sometimes I put other people before myself, which is kind of one of my bad habits.
Mm,
But I'm a very caring person, I'd like to believe. And I tend to, drop everything for my friends and my family. When they need me, I'll always be there. Very supportive. And I think a lot of people either take that for granted or sometimes don't even understand that about me.
mhm.
So I'd say probably that.
No, that's an excellent quality. So, what qualities do you look for in a good friend beside
Well,
being exactly like you are? Because you are a wonderful friend.
um, I'd say the qualities I think I personally look for, because I'm a very big overthinker, as most people are. And so I tend to look for someone who I can ask a million times, like, we're okay, we're good, and they can reassure me. And I look for someone who I always knows has my back. I actually have a best friend, Val, who she really fills all my traits, and someone who's beautiful not only on the inside but on the outside. My
Yeah.
best friend's gorgeous. And honestly, just someone who feels to me like my other half. Someone who I know I can always go to. I know who I can trust. I know I can tell anything to them, and they just know how to make me feel better. And I have a lot of good friends like that. I have a lot of people who support me and honestly fill out a lot of those traits.
Yeah, and it has not always been great. It has not always been
No.
wonderful. No friendship really is, right? You have to learn and grow together. And I'd say you and Val definitely, I consider her a
100%.
second daughter to me.
Yes.
Not the best daughter. I had the best daughter, but sorry, Val, if you're listening. Sorry.
Oh, she will be listening. I will force her to listen to
No
this.
doubt. But what's so you said a lot there, and I'm wanting you to repeat to certain things, and I keep saying to the audience, I'm hoping there is some young, wonderful, beautiful girl out there or a boy that doesn't understand what it takes, maybe not surrounded by great friends. What is one thing that is a non-negotiable when it comes to having a friend, keeping a friend, or letting a friend go?
Yeah, honestly, I've been through a lot of friendships, you know, firsthand.
Yep.
I've had friendships that I thought were going to be with me for the rest of my life and weren't. And honestly, you really find out who your true friends are when you're in your darkest place. And actually, over the summer, I had a huge friend group, a ginormous friend group, and it really is true. Sometimes just having a small circle of friends is better than having a million. And I had to find out over the summer who my true friends were because of an altercation within my friend group. And it really showed me when I was at my lowest point who was there for me. And I think my biggest thing is you're never going to know, but people who defend you behind your back when you're not there are honestly the biggest people to keep around. And I've found out that some of my friends were not talking greatly about me. And I think this was honestly a huge eye-opener for me. And not only was it an eye-opener to not have some of these friends in my life, but it was also an eye-opener to keep some of these friends in my life.
Right.
And I'd say Val, my best friend, I found out that she is one of my really true friends and someone who I can picture keeping in my life forever because I was actually, when we dropped her off at the airport to go to New York, and I was in the car with her mom, and I was so worried that it was going to be so awkward in the car ride back from the airport with her mom. I was stressing out. I didn't know whether I was supposed to go on my phone, whether I was supposed to communicate. Like, it's a huge thing. But she ended up telling me that a week prior, when Val was over one of my friends' houses, they were talking bad about me, and Val called her mom, and she's like, get me out of this situation. They're not talking highly about Kayla. I don't want to be here anymore. And whether or not you know that a friend is doing that, just the sole purpose of finding that out to me was my automatic, that's my true friend, and she's there for the rest of my life. And it's honestly, you find out, again, your true friends when you're at the deepest point in your life.
Right.
And when I was severely depressed, Val was always there for me. My friend Dylan, always there for me. Joey, just individual friends who showed me that no matter what goes on in my life, no matter who I am, no matter what happens, they're always going to be there for me.
What I love about that too in you is you did a lot of introspection. And as a parent, it's really tough watching. I know for me, it was really tough watching you. A lot of emotions go through my head. And, sometimes I even said it to you, let me know who their parent is. They're beating you up. I'm going to go beat up the parent. Remember? I mean, as a parent, it's such a struggle because you want to protect your child and you want to keep them safe, and you can't always do that. And I'll tell you, I will say that you and I have one of the greatest gifts of all. Our relationship is just so unbelievably special. And when you were going through that hard time, the idea that you could come to me is a dream come true for a parent. And I would say for any young adult that's listening right now, or for a parent, the relationship is so important. And even if you cannot speak to your parent, maybe you don't have the connection that Kayla and I do, and you're not able to talk to your parents about what's going on, connect with a friend. And one of the biggest things I learned, and Kayla, it even happens to me at my age, and Ben, you probably feel exactly the same way. What people say behind your back is none of your business.
Yep.
And I will tell you what, learn that, but
Hope
don't.
they enjoy the view.
You got it. Let them enjoy the view in the back, because you know what? Those are not the people you will be friends with. Your dad and I said it many times. You are not going to have 99 point whatever, 9% of your
Yeah.
friends won't be there once you leave high school. When you start focusing on what you want out of life, then that's driven. Those people will be there for you when you focus in that one direction of them.
And I honestly think that I never really took into account what you and Dad said till I hit my senior year. And I think for a lot of people, they're not going to really realize it, because senior year is like a whole new look and perspective on things. It's because I really think about it and I'm like, this time next year, I'm going to be in a completely different place, surrounded by completely different people.
I know, college.
And
oh my God.
It's really crazy to think about, but it's also, if I lose this person, is it really going to affect me in the long run, or is it going to benefit me?
Yeah.
And I've had to realize that losing a lot of people, it may hurt now, but in the long run, it benefits me extremely, to the point where my mental health is better.
Yes.
And I know next year I'm not going to be friends with half these people I talk to now. I might say, oh yeah, we're going to be friends forever. And I
Right.
probably will not talk to them.
Well, but that's boundaries. And
Yeah.
that, at 17 years old, you have learned boundaries and put them in place, where I just learned it at 51. And I'll tell you, that is humongous at your age to understand that. I'd like to say that it's not just, your parents that taught you that. It's Claudia that taught you that.
Yeah.
You have great coaches in your life. You have great confidants, people that you can just talk to.
Yeah.
I'd like to think your grandpa is a big, huge person in your life, and your
My
grandmother.
grandpa and my grandma, yeah.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit tell your listeners a little bit about your grandparents.
Honestly, the bond, I have a really deep connection with both of them. I grew up basically being around them 24/7. They are like my built-in therapist.
Disneyfied.
Yeah. I think my biggest thing is the connection I have with them is so important to me. And my grandma, growing up, we used to have little tea parties, and she'd sew clothes for me. She taught me how to sew. She taught me how to get control of this wild whatever's going on here.
It's beautiful.
She's definitely one of my biggest supporters, and I love her. And my grandpa is one of my best friends. He's my Gemini twin. He's also a very important person to me, and he's definitely been there for me no matter what. I think when my parents first divorced, I think the most constant person in my life was my grandpa. And whenever I felt upset about it, I could just call him. He would stay on the phone with me no matter how long, no matter what I needed, and I would be able to call him. He would be right there, drive all the way to us, the whole 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And he would just kind of be there for me. And so the bond that I have with the both of them is irreplaceable, and I would never give it up for anything.
Yeah, I know that feeling. It's incredible growing up, Grandpa being my best friend and having that relationship. And then once I found out I was pregnant with you, even before your dad knew, your grandparents knew.
Yeah.
And it was just so beautiful. At 6 months old, them taking you to Disney. They completely Disneyfied you. I feel like every month when I was traveling, you were in Disney.
Every month.
Yeah.
And being the favorite grandchild.
Oh, yeah. Well, we won't go into that.
We won't go into that.
The favorite grandchild in
The
Palm
favorite grandchild, period. But the other
Okay.
grandkids don't need to know.
Yeah, no, they don't need to know.
Unless they're watching this, and in that case, we're all the favorites.
Oh, God. All right. Well, we're almost running out of time, but first of all, I definitely want to invite you back again. I'm hoping that we can do a part 2 to this, really
I'll
soon.
think about it.
All
Sure.
right. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be back.
So, what are some goals or dreams that you have for the future? Because you are leaving for college, and this is where the next episode's going to be. And I want to delve in a little bit more with talking directly to teenagers and what you've experienced. But what is some goals or dreams you have for your future?
I think probably one of my biggest goals is earning my degree in psychology. And honestly, just putting everything that's happened from high school and down behind me. And just honestly focusing on my education, my future, the people I'm going to be spending time with. And just honestly, as crazy as it is saying it out loud as thinking it in my head, getting ready to start a new chapter of my life and just, start over. And I think honestly, it's crazy to even say out loud, to be honest with you, that I'm going to be graduating in 5 months.
Yes.
But I think just, doing my own thing.
Right, right. What advice can you give to someone that's just entering into middle school versus someone entering into high school? What's some advice you want to give them?
I think the best word of advice to give someone entering into middle school or high school is to just focus on yourself. And like I said before, don't really compare yourself to others and stay out of drama. Believe me, I know it's easier said than done, but just I've realized this year that I've really tried to stay away from drama, and I've had way more of a stress-free year than any years before. And honestly, just focus on your schoolwork 100%.
Yes.
Get good grades. Like, I know that it's going to suck having to actually do the school part of school, but I think just really think about how this is your future. Like, what you're doing now, it may not seem, when you go into your freshman year, when you're going into middle school, it may not seem that important, but trust me, coming from a senior in high school, these are your very important years. And don't try to grow up too fast, because I feel like I just blinked and all of a sudden I'm a senior. So
It's crazy. It is so crazy. Well, Kayla, I love you, kid.
I love you more.
We are definitely, I love you most. We are definitely going to have to do a part 2, and the part 2 is
Yes.
coming very soon, literally after this one. So I just
Probably,
locked you
yes.
into the next podcast episode
Yay.
with my dear loving Kayla. And what I want to, so our next episode is going to be focused on a little bit more of high school. I'd love for you to share a little bit more with the audience what it's like going through high school, both academically, socially, sports wise. What goes through your head? You've had a lot of ups and downs. We just tip of the iceberg touched on Daddy and I separating and what that looked like. Welcoming in new families, welcoming back old families. I mean, there's a lot that has happened that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but look at you now, and I'm so proud of you. And we're going to touch into, I will say, before we finish, one of the most incredible feelings and what hit me as reality is I received a text from Kayla, and you were asking me for $171. And in the middle of getting this text, I'm talking to friends at work, and I'm like, what the hell do you need 100? But I didn't answer the phone at all. And I
Received a call from you
received a call.
after.
Yes, it wasn't even
very soon after, not even 5 minutes later.
not 5, not even
I think
1
not even
minute.
a minute later.
And you're like, Mom, I need money. And I'm like, what do you need money for? What was your response?
For my cap and gown for graduation.
So May 15, on Thursday, May 15 at 1 p.m. is when you graduate high school.
Yay.
And cap and gown and
Cap and gown, senior photos.
yeah, senior photos. And then we'll go into that next time too, because I had such a beautiful experience with you, watching you and putting on the cap and gown. I've
Crazy
got
feeling.
Yeah, some great photos for the viewers too to see, because it's so beautiful. So we're gonna finish. Thank you, Kayla. We're gonna come back
for
to you.
having me.
No, thank you for coming. And of course, we're gonna do round 2. We'll follow this one.
Round 2 rapid fire.
Round 2 rapid fire. But I do want to talk to my parents out there, my listeners, our listeners. take time to spend with your kids. It goes by so fast. And I know it's easier said than done, but just take the time. Take the time to listen to them. Take the time to grow with them. If you are just now having a child, make every moment count. It does go by so fast. 17
Yeah.
years went by super fast, right?
Extremely, yeah.
Yeah, and I'd love to hear from you as a parent. And Kayla, I bet you would love to hear from some of the listeners too of
Yeah.
your age group, maybe
Of
giving you,
course.
throwing some questions at you.
Yeah.
You could definitely do that on social media. We are on Spotify podcasts, on YouTube, at Through the Mirror 24. We are also on, if you'd like to just email Kayla or myself, it's through the mirror 24@gmail.com. Definitely, if you can, on Apple, I would love for you guys to be able to like, comment, and subscribe. It's so important to subscribe. You are going to hear from Kayla again. She has shared so many blessings with me over these past 17 years, and I would love for her to share with you as well. So thank you for listening. We both look forward to seeing you next on Through the Mirror.
Bye.
Thank you.